Well, good evening, all, and welcome to the Psychic Coffee Shop. I'm Aeson Knight, and today was with me my girl pal, Superwoman. She is Miss Raine S Love. How are you, darling?
Got my dance on, and I am ready to go. Got to warm up somehow. It's like 3 degrees here in Denver.
Well, you know, dancing is wonderful. Yoga is better.
Dancing's more fun.
Oh, I know, especially when you're having fun doing it. Well, today, you know, these words will live down in infinity. December 7th, 1943, it is? 46? Well, 75 years, somewhere in there.
It's about 40, I think, because my mother is going to be 75, and she was born in 41.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Will go down in infamy. Those were the words spoken by our wonderful president, Roosevelt, as he made announcements to the country that we would be entering World War II. Today is the 75th anniversary of the attack on Pearl Harbor that drew us into the war.
Right.
You know, while there's a lot of debate over who did what, it is quite clear that Japan came and hit and killed 58 that morning, a Wednesday morning, and more than 400 crewmen survived.
I think that was just on one boat. There were several boats that were taken
that's
out.
on the Arizona. That's on the Arizona.
I think it was somewhere around 1,200. But, you know, don't quote me on exact on that. I know that at the ceremonies they had today, they had 4 of the 5 surviving men who still live, you know, at this point in time.
Right.
One of them, I think, is 101. And one of the gentlemen so they kind of feel that this would probably be most likely their last time, or could be most likely their last time to go there and celebrate. I don't know if you want to call it celebrate, but to commemorate. And
remember.
Pearl Harbor. Yeah, exactly.
You know, here's the facts. And this is scary because I know from my history, you know, my generation, the generation before me, the generation before us, we've always had World War II, World War I.
Right.
People alive, able to tell you of having stamps to buy flour. You had to have a stamp to buy flour. You had to have stamps to drive, to get a certain amount of gas to drive.
Yeah.
The rationing that went on.
That was during
the green stamps
the war.
That went on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was during the war. It was
stamp.
during that time. And trading with your neighbors, if your kid didn't need shoes and you needed more gasoline, you'd trade your shoe stamp for 4 gasoline stamps. And, you know, we think of America as being abundant, of having everything. Granted, we've gotten used to the idea, yes, we can be attacked by terrorists. Yeah. Well, guess what? So can everywhere else. But during this time, 75 years ago... I really don't like the fact that we're getting used to it, though, you know. Well, here's the thing. We're getting used to it because the world is getting used to it. Yeah. You know, the world has gotten used to it 20 years ago. Or farther behind that because we had the Irish Republic attacking Britain like every other day. And there's always been these little squabbles of little people running around, but now it's a much bigger factor. But during this time, it was country against country. We called a country when they attacked us. We didn't say this alleged group of such and such from... No, we said the Japanese attacked us. Right, exactly. Very, very different. We said Germany attacked, you know, it was very clear who our enemy was. Now we don't know who the heck our enemy is anymore. Right, yeah, exactly. Other than Saturday Night Live. Is Saturday Night Live our enemy? Well, according to somebody.
Well, I mean, sometimes, yeah, they can be a little off the hook. I don't watch it that much, though, anymore. I remember watching it when I was a teenager, but I haven't watched it in a really long time.
I don't think I've watched it probably for more than 30 years, but apparently they have now become the big news when we've got war going on. We've got daily terrorist attacks throughout the world. Saturday Night Live is more important. But anyhow, getting back to Pearl Harbor.
Right.
We need to grasp on to every fiber, every story, every note, every picture. These guys were gone for 6 to 8 years. And during the main part of the war, they didn't get their little 30-day vacation. They didn't get to come home. When they went, they were gone until they got to come home. And so many relationships were maintained, grew, created because of this. Writing letters home used to be so important.
Yeah. Well, I remember when I was young and engaged to be married, my fiancé at that time wrote a letter every single day. And it was just wonderful to wait in the mail. Now, I'm not nearly as old as any of these people are, but I mean, even in our lifetime, at our age, there's been such a difference with technology, and how people communicate. But those letters were really awesome. And you would just go and sit outside in the chair in the morning and, read those letters. And, the thing of it is it was a mindset of people who were proud to be Americans, proud for what they were fighting for. The whole country made sacrifices. Heck, women were, I think they were rationed on pantyhose, because the women went to work. They had somebody had.
Well, not only that, but the nylon was needed for the parachutes.
Right, exactly, and they had a different perspective on than we have nowadays, and it's some of them. In fact, there's a gentleman, and I do apologize because I don't remember his name. One of these older gentlemen who was there has just written a book about Pearl Harbor. Which I think is really important, to have that, firsthand information. I've also seen something recently where a young man, probably in his early 20s, is going around and interviewing, older veterans, back from probably most likely World War II, these older gentlemen, to, interview them and find out about their experiences, because this is going to be lost history. If you even look at the Holocaust, okay, and for a lot of years, they were interviewing these people to find out about their experiences, because, there comes a point where they no longer are there, just as back in the 1800s. People aren't. I think there's one woman left who was born in 1899. She actually still is alive. People aren't alive anymore. The history getting...
We lose that history. But it was also announced Monday, this is important, Japanese Prime Minister Shushi Abe, I butchered his name. He's the Japanese Prime Minister. Was announced Monday that he will visit Pearl Harbor along with President Obama later this month. This is a reflection because the Japanese government and the American government, presidents and prime ministers, never visited these sites. Earlier this summer, President Obama went to Hiroshima. Where did we drop a bomb?
Hiroshima.
Hiroshima.
Yes.
So that made precedence with the Japanese. Big precedence. So now the Japanese Prime Minister is coming to visit Pearl Harbor. Now, also in Europe this year, there has been celebrations of D-Day, Remembrance Days, honors for these days, because it has been 75 years since this time.
Yeah. And they don't feel that there will be an apology necessarily from the Japanese, but, the one thing that we need to keep into perspective is that this is part of their tradition, okay, that they would not likely actually, say, I am sorry. We did not say, I am sorry, for Hiroshima. However, it's the symbolism of going there and acknowledging what happened in Hiroshima. It's the symbolism of acknowledging Pearl Harbor. It's still
very much so.
Yeah, and I think that is a I think that is a good thing.
Very much so. And, I think, and it's just their culture. They don't apologize for acts of war because it was an act of war. I mean, that would be insane to them.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a really big deal that he's coming.
Very big deal.
And, the biggest thing is, yes, we have these acknowledgments of these time periods, with these wars and the people who fought, for our country, for other countries, for freedoms of other people, but also it's so important because, as we all know, the longer it goes, people don't remember. Okay, and young people don't remember. There's things in our lives that young people are looking at you like, what are you talking about?
Right. That never happened. Yes, it did.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And, we're definitely, gosh, doesn't it make you feel like you're getting a little old here?
It does. I mean, point blank, it makes me feel like I'm ancient because, the other day we had our niece over, and, by the time she is my age, September 11th will not be anything but a story in a history book.
Right.
World War II will seem like the Civil War.
Exactly.
These were
not
paramounts.
Far from it
these
now.
were changes. Well, it's not far from it now, but these were paramounts. These were changes that not only affected hundreds of thousands of lives, policy and stuff, but it caused cultural changes. Women went to work.
Right.
And it used to be a shame for a woman to work unless she was a teacher or a nurse. Those were the only two exceptions.
And then
at age, when you got married, normally around 18, you quit your job.
Exactly. And they went to work out of necessity. And then when they came back, and this is kind of where we got the 50s era there, the Little Miss Cleaver era, when they came back, the men had to have jobs, and the women had to give up. They had to find a way because the women had been working. Okay, so this is where you got the great promotion in society, for the, the little white, picket fence and the little house and the 2.4 kids, and so
and
it was actually, and it was actually a propaganda thing, Was it right or wrong? Who's to say? It was what it was at the time. Men had to come home and be able to go back to work and be able to support their families. And so then they began to this is when, you would see they had the TV come out and they had the little TV commercials, with the, the little washing machines and, you're running around mopping the floor with the laser. Right.
The washing machine, the refrigerator, the TV dinner, those all came from wartime.
Exactly.
The deep freeze.
So, and you even you go back to the Depression era, not trying to get too off track here, but during the Depression era, generations of families lived together. That was actually normal, okay, generations of families. Children, back in the early parts of the last century, where we raise our children, and children have their lives, and they have Christmas and fairy tales, and they have Barbie dolls and, little trucks or whatever it is the kids do. They're kids, okay? That wasn't the life of a child necessarily back then. They went to work on the farms immediately. They became a part of the working family that all lived together. That was pre-war.
Yeah, that was pre-World War I. We still, back then you had you'd go to work in the mines at age 12.
I mean, the baby would be born, and the parents would be out in the fields, and the grandmother would be there taking care of the baby, and helping to fix the food at night, And so if you look at these different markers, such as, and it isn't just, but definitely inclusive of World War I and World War II, they really changed not only society, but the dynamics of the family structure.
Right.
And how things
and
were done.
During World War II, during World War I is when the upstairs, downstairs stopped happening. Because it would be nothing before World War I for a family to have a downstairs housekeeper, maid, whatever you want to name it. And it was just, and it was, this lady and, maybe her niece before, her aunt before her and her aunt before her always was the housekeeper.
Right.
One would retire and one would take, the younger generation would take the place.
Yeah. And
those
what
dynamics
I don't think most
changed.
people. Yeah, and I believe. And
we're not talking filthy rich.
No, we're not. We're just talking. That's how society was. Our viewpoint on children working in factories. When you're talking about the pre-industrial age and the industrial age, post-industrial age, children's roles were very different. All of our roles were different. And really the elderly actually had a lot more value, I feel, within the family dynamics, and were given such value.
Not only that, but there was none of this, okay, you're 65, get out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you're 70, get out of here. They worked until they got tired of working. And then they went home and worked some more.
Exactly. So these big changes, they aren't just, remembering what happened on that day, but there's so much that surrounds it. And I always encourage anybody, go read about the history. There's so much there. It's wonderful to learn because, until I really started researching many years ago, I certainly didn't learn it in high school, about, how much our society was changed by these different markers. The roles in our families were changed.
The roles in the family. The roles of some families completely changed, dynamics changed. And what aggravates me, and granted, no, I'm not Native American, but it aggravates me that our Navajo nation is not remembered a lot, but they were our code talkers. They were was the only language that the Germans and Japanese could not crack. They could crack any other code except for Navajo.
That's right. Yeah. It played a very big role.
What was it, 5 years ago they finally recognized that?
Well, I know they had a movie come out a few years ago about it.
So, about 5 years ago, the government finally recognized, the Navajos were our code talkers. They never gave them acknowledgement. I mean, but they're the ones that came up with a lot of the radio broadcasting codes, a lot of, the system, our firemen, policemen, 1022, 501, all that came out of that Navajo code talking series.
Yeah.
And the codes that the Navajos came up with during World War II.
Exactly. And there's so many different contributions that so many different, ethnic groups have made to to the wars. You don't want to look at it that way necessarily. If you even go back into the 1800s, and the contributions that, Black Americans, made to the war and stepping up and volunteering and fighting, and the sacrifices that they made,
Right.
In every way, we, historically our people have made contributions across the lines. And it's very interesting to look at it just past the history book. Really go and dig deep. Yeah. It's just these people were strong. These people fought hard, and we're women now. because we just don't have a clue.
Right.
Compared to
I mean, I think that we would have riots in the streets if someone said, well, you have a family of 2, you get 2 bags of flour a month. Here's your sticker. You can only buy that if you've got that sticker.
Yeah.
Well, in other news.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we did get a little drawn out.
The troublemakers up to it again.
Are you talking about me? What am I doing?
No, not you, honey. Leah Ryan. Her book is called The Troublemaker. I reviewed it a few months ago, but I love her writing style. I love that she's blowing the whistle on the Church of Scientology and some of their practices. What's scary is I'm looking at this and going, oh, I've seen that practice before. I know, you know, that's not the only, I know where he got that from. But it's just interesting, you know, that she's back. She's now, you know, A&E has decided to do a documentary showing that she's not the only story that's speaking out. And some of the things this corporation / church / cult / fantasy novel is doing and some of the actions they have done. And what I find interesting, and this is just interesting, is every time that someone else speaks out or someone else steps up or she does the press, the PR for something about this, the church goes on the attack.
Well, they have a history of that, actually. You know, she's not the first one that they've gone after. You know, and that is what she's trying to bring to light. Is that anybody who is a part of the church and tries to go against the church, you know, they're going to have them followed. They're going to try to discredit them. They're going to try to ruin their lives.
They're going to bring up everything.
I've heard of some practices where, you know, they lock people up. They isolate them from other people. If they leave the church, they have to leave their families behind. We've heard of that in other religions too that we won't mention tonight. You know, you know, so there are some things that we've heard about, you know, and I've always found it very interesting, you know, when it comes to the Tom Cruise situation, that his wife has never talked about it. But boy,
she won't even speak of the divorce. She won't even speak of the divorce. She, you know, their daughter. Tom hasn't seen their daughter in who knows how long. Really?
Yeah.
Of course, I don't know if I would want someone jumping on couches and bouncing all over the place, and you know, having the church hook him up with people seeing my daughter or not.
You know, I do have to say, when I saw him jump on the couch a few years ago, I kind of freaked out, like, "Whoa, dude!" But she's always been eerily silent. You know, once she left, that was it. You never heard anything. You know, you have to wonder why.
Right.
You know, So there have been a lot of questions over the years, you know, with respect to that particular religion. And I think it's great that she's coming out and being a little bit more open about it. They always seem to complain when anybody does that, and they do seem to go after them. It's not the first time. I'm sure it won't be the last.
Exactly. And, you know, it's on A&E. You'll have to check your local TV schedule. It depends on where you're at on what time, but it is on the A&E Documentary Network, and they're not only talking to her, they're talking to other people. This last week they had the one that was used to be the guy that done this, and he finally, when he left the church, now they're doing it to him.
Right. So he knows what they're doing, where they're putting little cameras, you know, on them to spy. They're paying the trash guy to give them their garbage, you know. They're having people follow them, and you know, again, there have been many people who have talked of such actions that have happened to them as they've left this particular religious group. And I've always found it very interesting that a lot of famous people are involved with this religion. Never really quite made the connection to why. Oh.
They're sought after.
Okay.
Okay? They're courted. They're given special permission, special privileges. They're made to feel important. And it's a way to grow the church. I mean, how do you get someone to join your church where you get someone like Tom Cruise in there? And you use him. Because they hunt actors. Why? Because they normally have the most available income, and they tend to want to do, get as far as advanced in their career as possible.
Right.
So the church tries to encourage them and do some things. There's a lot of YouTube information on them. If you'd like to check that out, do so. But also check out this new documentary series and get the book Troublemakers. It'll open your eye up on a lot of things that they do and other religions do, because you can look at it and go, well, I remember when that happened over at that church and this occurred. It's tactics. It's not like L. Ron Hubbard recreated how to run a cult.
Right.
But it does kind of give you an inside view of different things.
Yeah.
Miss Raine,
yeah.
We're supposed to talk about relationships tonight. So let's kind of jump into that, and then we'll take a break, and then we'll jump back in and talk about it a little bit, and then we'll be taking calls. So,
okay,
we try to touch on relationships a little bit.
Yeah, here and there. Well,
and normally
I think
we talk about love relationships, but tonight we're going to be talking about all relationships, how to improve all of them.
Yeah, and I think that's really important this time of year, just because we're all being exposed to family and holidays. And, learning a lot this year. I just got back from California for my son's wedding, as we talked about a little bit about last week. And, you get exposed to those old relationships, whether they're family or old friendships, people that you haven't seen in years. And, sometimes over the years we change and other people change. Sometimes things happen in the relationship. Sometimes we have old wounds or new wounds that haven't had a chance to be addressed or even healed. And being around people during those time periods will bring up those old wounds, first of all. Okay?
Very much so.
And then you have to decide how, you have to deal with things. I'm at a place right now with respect to my mother. She's getting older. She's going through a lot of difficulties right now. And, there are some things that will never be resolved. However, giving her and seeing that she just needs the dignity right now of being able to be in the place that she's at and trying to adjust to the things that she's having to come to terms with now, as she finds that she just physically can't do a lot of things. And giving her that grace and not allowing myself to go back to, well, you never did this, or, oh, I'm angry about this. Hey, we all have it. Especially those mother-daughter relationships. They can be really, really complicated. And just giving her that grace and saying, you know what, it's okay. I'm a grown-up here, and I'm just going to love her the best that I can, and just not worry about those old wounds, because they're there. They're there. It is what it is. She's a human being, and Lord knows it won't be that many years before I may be going through some of the same things. And I would like to think that my children would give me dignity and grace as well. However, sometimes we also run into situations, and this is not about my mother, because I just wanted to point that out, because I know we all have to deal with things with family and got to love them. But sometimes we have relationships where the relationships, for example, I encountered a friendship that I had not been involved with for a long time, for many reasons. For one thing, because I don't live anywhere near where I live anymore. And because we had kind of grown apart many years ago. But I had said, it's okay. They're a friend of the family. It's no big deal. I'll go in there and keep my head high. But there was some betrayal there, which really bothered me. And I really struggled with this person participating in our celebration. And they were not invited, yet they chose to come anyway.
We'll take this up a little deeper when we get back.
Oh,
let's go to break.
There I go again.
That's okay, honey.
Okay. We'll see you
We'll be right
in
back,
a minute.
guys.
And you'll find us at www.themagichappens.com, your free online magazine.
Did you know that you are surrounded by love every moment of every day? Did you know that all you have to do is reach out and know that you are loved to feel it? Each and every one of us have angels assigned to us, but sometimes we need to learn how to connect with them and to hear them. You're invited to listen, chat, and be loved on Angel Whispers, hosted by your very own divine angel, your messenger of love and healing, live in the Psychic Coffee Shop online Blog Talk Radio channel. You'll see and know that your angels are only just a whisper away.
So I'm a cat, and I just moved in with this new human, and she's got this little toy she's always playing with, all day long. Tap, 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 bloop, bloop. She can't put it down. There it is. Oh, and get this. She even talks to it. Last week she asked it for Chinese, and guess what? Egg rolls showed up. Like magic. Humans have cool toys.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Do you have burning questions you need answered? We all do. Visit our website at psychic.biz, where you can find accurate psychics, tarot readers, and astrologers from around the world who are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can have your questions answered anonymously and right from your computer, tablet, or smartphone. The introductory chat is always free, and we offer low per-minute rates and special promotions. Our online psychics offer helpful, practical guidance into what matters most to you. Visit us today at psychic.biz.
Some people talk to their pets. Some people talk to their plants. And some people just talk to themselves. We're not being all judgy, but how's that been working out for you? I've got a better idea. Join Master Psychic Aeson Knight for Conversation with Aeson, the show where you're the co-host. You call, you talk, you live a better life.
You're on the air.
Yes, hi. Thanks for taking my phone call.
You're welcome, darling. How you doing?
I'm okay. Not that great.
Oh, well, how can I help you?
When do you see your boyfriend coming in? And don't say feel good about yourself and in 10 years.
Well, honey, if it's going to be that long, I'll let you know, and you can get a book and a cab.
About it. I'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Conversation with Aeson on Blog Talk Radio, Psychic Coffee Shop online. Oh, and you can bring your cat. Hi, welcome, relax, have a cup of your favorite topics with your hosts Aeson Knight and Raine Love. There's nothing like a good conversation to warm your soul and give your spirit a break now and then. Aeson Love have such a wonderful way of exploring topics like psychic phenomena, important topics in our daily lives from a psychic's point of view, and you never know who else will stop by. The Psychic Coffee Shop, live on Blog Talk Radio. So come on in. We made a fresh cup of Java just for you.
Welcome back, everyone. All right, Miss Raine, we were talking about friendships and relationships in general.
Oh, yes.
So I'm assuming this friend is getting a pink slip?
Friend is getting a pink slip, but, I came to realize sometimes people are unaware that you were unaware that they betrayed you, and they expect you to react to them the same way. And I went, wait a minute, I have a responsibility to let that person know why. And so that's something I've chosen to do. And you know what? Each situation is different. And it's okay sometimes if we have to let people go, because there's always new and wonderful people coming in for us. And
well, not only that, honey, but it's perfectly fine to fire a friendship. If it's no longer serving you, then get rid of it. That draws us back to the first part of any relationship, is it's got to have boundaries.
Right.
And I'm going to transfer this to something a little bit different. We were talking about your mother, and, my mother has reached that age where it's no longer okay for her to drive, and the boundary now is that she wants to go somewhere, I will take her. I will clear my schedule to take her. That's that commitment I made to her. But at the same thing, reversing that, she doesn't come into my bedroom. Those are our boundaries. That's where we set our boundaries at. It's a nice little box, and everybody fits it. This is a job description. This is what's allowed. This is what's not allowed.
Right.
People forget that, especially since now we're so socially connected. First of all, we need to go back to the thought of having friends, associates, and acquaintances. We don't have that anymore because everybody is a friend. No, they're not.
Right.
Everybody is not a friend. And that's something people have to get used to.
And it's okay to have lots of associates, and it's okay to care for associates. It's even okay to do things for associates and have them do things for you. The thing of it is with boundaries, it's important. And again, comes back to that dignity thing with my mother. She needs that in her life. She needs that, and I need to give that to her. And the rest of the gunk is just gunk. I'm a big girl. I'm a grown up. And it's important, like with moms. Yeah, they like to come in the bedroom and go, "What's this?" Mom, I'm a grown man.
Out the door. And she's never violated. That's been one of my hard boundaries since probably about 15, 16. It was like, nope, you're not allowed in my bedroom anymore. And that's perfectly okay to have to do all that. It's perfectly okay to fire people that no longer fit in your world.
Right.
They don't have to be there.
And there's ways to do it gently. Sometimes you can't. But, and I think especially when it comes to family members, because that's a tough one. Some family members you can, in fact, fire. I don't want to fire my mother,
No, but you can fire cousins, uncles, and actually, this is my rule when it comes to family. If they aren't paying my bills, if I don't have to have a responsibility to them, they are up for either promotion or deletion. They can be fired.
Oh. Yeah. Sometimes we get too stuck on what other people think or, what they say to us, especially friends and family, whether they mean well or not, because sometimes they don't mean to, and sometimes they do mean to, we get too caught up on what they think or what they say about us. And this is something, it was about 40 when it kind of hit me. You know what? They're not paying my bills. They don't need to be in my mind.
Right.
They don't pay my bills. They don't need to be telling me how to live my life, because I'm not telling them how to live their life. And we get so caught up in, oh, God, what are they thinking about me? How am I going to handle the family affairs or whatever? Sometimes it's okay not to necessarily be there, but sometimes it's important to be there. And this is just a time of year where it brings up so many emotions and, love where you can.
Well, it's kind of like, and this is how you have to treat this. Let's say you're in Kroger's, and you see a past employee of yours there in Kroger's too. Oh. You don't have to stop and have a conversation. You aren't needed to go and have this big, long discussion over why they were fired. And no, fire them and move on with your life. You aren't required to do anything except enjoy your life. And if these people aren't aiding your life, goodbye, Charlie. Have a nice day. Adios, amigos.
Yeah, sometimes
Fire
people
them.
will come back into our lives in later years for whatever reason. But if they're not meant to be there right now, be okay with it. Yes, I do think it's important to sometimes let somebody know, why you're upset about a certain situation if it's caused you or your
very
family
much so.
damage.
Well, like anybody else, you would definitely want to make sure that you explain why they're fired, but make it clear they're fired.
Right, exactly. And that's okay.
Yeah.
I will tell you this. Often people don't change very much, do they?
No, they don't.
I think
I believe. Who was that? Oh, goodness. I can't remember the poet who said, when someone tells you who they are the first time, believe them.
Mm. Yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah, that's who they
I
are.
like to use that one all the time. Mm-hmm.
Okay? When they show you that they're mistrustworthy or they're problematic or they're assholes, they are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When I tell you I am a bitch, you can expect me to be a bitch.
When they show you who you are, believe them.
Yeah.
Not what they say
believe
necessarily,
them.
although that can, believe them. If somebody shows you that they're going to steal from you, believe them. If somebody shows you that they're going to talk about you, one good way of knowing how people are going to talk about you is they're talking to you about other people.
Mm-hmm.
I bet they do that behind me too. You better believe it.
Exactly. If they're coming to you with gossip, then guess what? Believe that they are spreading gossip about you, so you don't share the details.
Yeah.
Okay. Maya Angelou. That's who said it was Maya Angelou.
I was thinking
takes
it was
a little
Maya Angelou, but I wasn't quite. But that's one that I always come back to. You showed me who you are. I believe you now.
Right.
Not necessarily what someone will say.
And this is something else that people don't get a lot of times. And this will probably be our last key point, and then we're going to take calls. Is that people are not required in your life. You don't have to like everybody. Sorry, you don't.
And not everybody has to like you.
You don't have to like them. Nobody has to like you. You don't have to like everybody. You are free to look at them and go, be done. You're gone. Removed from my life. I am done with you. You do not have to take anything into your life that you don't want there. And if they're not wanted...
We just want you to like yourself.
Exactly. The only person that is required in your life at all,
is you.
The rest of it is not required.
Right.
you don't like your husband today, you can decide to fire him today if you want. If not, you can keep him around for a little while. But that's up to you.
Right. Right.
Okay? Some parents,
they've
earned
really
to be fired. Yeah, you got to know yourself, but you got to understand your life is your company. You do not have to keep them. You do not have to have that company. You do not have to deal with it. You do not have to put up with people. You know, I hear so often, but I love him. Is he aggravating the hell out of you? Is he not doing what he's supposed to? Then why are you keeping him there?
Right.
Why are you letting this person be in your life? Be done with them.
Sometimes.
Stop carrying around people's other baggage.
Change. Right.
Well, you know what happens with change? Change happens quickly, and it's before you know it. And guess what? That relationship's already changed before it's even began.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
Well,
all right, Miss
do you
Raine,
think we should take some
calls? Oh, I think we should. Let's go with, let's see here. Ooh, we got a large call line tonight, guys. So
and we
let's
want your
start
name
with
and birthday,
515.
please.
Name and birth date is required. And the name of somebody that you're talking to. We're going to only be able to take a few, so let's kind of get through them fairly quickly. Rainey, you're first up on the seat. 515, you're on the air.
Hello, good evening. Who am I speaking with tonight? Hello?
515. Going once, going twice. All right, back to the box you go. All right, Rainey, I'll go ahead and put you up onto Oz. Oz is 1111.
Hello, 1111. Who am I speaking with tonight?
Hello, 1111. I don't know if the call panel is working or not. All right, let's go over to 813. 813, you're on the air.
Hi, yes, my name is Nicole. My birthday is July 23rd, 1984.
Hi, Nicole.
Okay, Nicole,
welcome.
And yes, your call line is working.
Awesome.
So, Nicole, how can we help you tonight? What question did you have?
Yes, my question is regarding to relationships. I was wondering, do you see me and my husband? Okay. We separated back in February of 2016. Do you see us getting back together in 2017?
And what's your husband's name and birthday?
His name's Michael, and his birthday is October 22nd, 1981.
Okay. Yeah, I do. Okay.
Awesome.
I do feel it. Yeah, I do. I want you to keep the number 8 in mind, which tells me this could be 8 weeks, this could be 8 months, it could be August. There's still a little bit of time here, though. Kind of feel like there's still a little bit of time. You know, first of all, he's got to make some different changes here and some different choices, okay?
Okay.
And he also needs to quit depending on other people to fix his problems. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay. And I'm bringing that up for a reason because, you know, it's not as if he doesn't want to get back together with you because I still see that there as a whole, but he still, you know, if he can find somebody to give him an easy way out so he doesn't have to deal with things and he doesn't have to take full responsibility for his role, for his part in this relationship, he'll try the easy way out. Okay. But I do feel like this will happen in 2017, yes.
Okay. Yeah, because I tried talking to him tonight about it, and it's like, yeah. Because we live in 2 different states, and I tried to speak to him on the phone about it tonight, and I felt like I wasn't getting nowhere.
You know what I want you to do? Would you consider not asking him about it for a bit?
Okay.
In other words, let him sit in the manure. Let him think, you know, take that away from him. Take that away. Just see what he does with it, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, you have a wonderful evening, Nicole.
All right, thank you. You said August, right?
Pardon me?
You said August, right?
8 weeks or August.
Yeah,
okay,
8
weeks
get the
order.
number 8. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
You're
Bye-bye.
welcome.
All right, bye.
All right, let's go to 561, and I'll hop in the seat. 561, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good. How can I help you?
Hi, my first name is Jay. My date of birth is 3/30/85. I'm wondering if you're picking up anything good in the love life.
Let's take a look here at your love life. You know, I feel like you keep looking at what's not there, and I feel like it's coming right to you. I actually feel like it'll be a comfortable step, but I feel like we're looking at about 10 weeks for things to really pull themselves together, okay?
Okay.
You can kind of
so
switch your focus, though.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. So about 10 weeks. So I need to so you mean I need to concentrate on career?
You need to stop looking for what's not there.
Okay.
Okay? Instead of just letting it be and going, well, I'll just let it be. It's kind of like instead of making a shopping list of what you don't have, make a shopping list of what you have.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. You have a good day.
You too.
All right. We're flying through these tonight. All right. We're going over to 303, Miss Rainey.
303. Hey, that's my area code. Hello. Who are we speaking with tonight?
Oh, hi. My name is Allie. Is it your area code in Colorado?
Yes, it is.
Well, I no longer live in Colorado, but I keep my old phone number. So
I do the same thing. And what's your name and birth date, hon?
Allie, and March 15, 1957.
Oh, and mine's the 16th. Ooh, this is getting scary.
How funny is that?
Well, how may I help you tonight, my dear?
I am really, really needing to find a new room share situation, and it's just been very, very challenging. It's a matter of availability, really, more than anything at this point. I need to be out by the end of the year, and I'm getting, not panicking, but I'm definitely getting a little bit nervous.
Yeah, I don't blame you. What I am getting here is about 3 weeks, which is pretty much about the end of the year. Tells me that this will be coming through. It will also be a good financial situation for you. In other words, it will benefit you financially. Okay?
That's interesting because I more so than my current situation, because I got to say, my current situation is pretty sweet when it comes to the rent.
I don't know. All I'm seeing is financially it's going to benefit you, and it looks like it's coming in about 3 weeks. Could be that you'll be happy with the financial situation. I'm just being shown a benefit there.
Does it feel like it's a male or a female? Really?
I'm not really getting the energy, although with the number 3, I felt like there was a female energy, but I wasn't getting necessarily who was coming in. So I'm not going to, I don't feel solid on that one, I'll be honest.
3 weeks, wow, that's like New Year's practically.
That's like pretty quick, yeah.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. Are you looking? Or are you packing?
I am looking like my life depends on it.
Okay. I want you to get yourself a little white candle. Let's get some energy going on that. Ask for the open doors, okay?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I say a lot of prayers through the day.
Good.
Okay,
so
thanks.
I do feel like you come up. It was a pleasure speaking with you. You have a wonderful evening.
And you too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. Now I'm going to take 201. 201, you're on the air.
Hi.
Hi. Who we got?
This is Jackie. I have a question.
Hi, Jackie. What's your birthday?
1/5/1965.
Okay. How can we help you, dear?
You know, I have an issue here with my son, and I just want to see what you see coming out of it.
I think you need to enable him. I do feel like it takes a path change, but I think he's the one who has to do it. You know, you want to step in there and really take care of and care for, but he's got to be the one that does it, honey.
I think he's at that point now. Am I able to give you his birthday and you tell me what you see?
I feel like he is.
You feel like he is?
I feel like he is at that point, yeah. But he's the one that's got to take the steps there.
I know that. I just want to support him. You know, emotionally, I know it's a hard time for him.
It is, but I feel like he's going to be fine. This will actually really, really benefit him. Okay.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Hopefully he'll return to school. Huh?
Don't worry, hon. You'll have your opportunity to support him.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Do you have a good evening?
You too.
All right, Miss Rainey, we've reached the end. What are you doing this week?
Goodness.
Are you staying home or are you traveling?
Well, tomorrow I'm going to go get myself a Christmas tree up in the snow. It's kind of crazy because it's snowing here.
Well, take a good axe and an ox, because Lord knows you'll choose the biggest one out there.
Well, I still can't use my Superwoman arm yet, but I got my boots, and I got my socks, and my long johns, and my jackets, and my gloves, and my hat, and my coffee, and we're just going to go out there tromping in the snow.
Okay.
Well,
I'm actually headed up to... I'm going to take the soul, and I'm going to run up to Morgantown, West Virginia. I'm going to be at the Barnes & Noble's Yule party and celebration. It's a Harry Potter event. Come dressed in your best Yule Ball attire and stop by and get a reading and, learn a little bit about Yule. I'm actually going to do a little presentation there on Friday from 6 till about 9 in the evening, okay? And tomorrow night, Miss Angel Divine will be here with your angel messages and angel whispers. So tune in to her. She's at 10 p.m. And, of course, you can always reach both of us and Miss Angel over at psychicbiz.com, where we provide both telephone and chat readings. And remember to use the coupon code FALL16 and get $5 free. So until next week, good night, y'all.
Good night. Good night, Aeson. Good night, Aeson.
Good night.
Are you at a crossroads in your life? Or are you feeling stuck and not sure where to turn? We can help. Visit our website at psychic.biz from your computer, smartphone, or tablet, where you can get accurate readings and insight by speaking with any one of our tested advisors. We offer live chat, video sessions, one-on-one phone calls, and even email readings. We have several gifted psychics, tarot readers, astrologers, and other healers from around the world who are available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Your initial chat is always free, and our psychics do offer special prices and low per-minute rates. Visit us today at psychic.biz and get the guidance you need today for your tomorrow.
You're listening to the Magic Happens Radio Network, sponsored by the Magic Happens magazine. You'll find us at www.themagichappens.com.